Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Evolve Beyond Limits podcast. And Andrew and I are going to start jamming out a little bit more often.
Let's do this.
Yeah, we have decided
All
that.
right.
All right. I feel like that all I'm picturing right now is the Kool-Aid man.
Oh, let's see. I was thinking of like Wayne's World when they do the broadcast.
Yes. Okay. Well, anyway, we decided that we were going to name our segment, if it needs one, Work Smart, Play Hard. And something that is unique about us is that I think just in general, we live a different life than a lot of people.
Oh, that's for sure.
And we are told that a lot. It's not like
Yes.
we're just self-proclaiming that is true. And one of those things is that we are a household of two entrepreneurs. And I thought today that we would talk about really get nitty gritty, because part of what I really want is for people to be able to see the good, the bad, and the ugly of evolving and
Yeah.
changing and living the life that you genuinely want to live. And it is not always pretty. So often people see the after and they don't see the messy middle. And so I want to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of what we have experienced when it comes to being in a two entrepreneur household.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So where do we start with? Some goods?
Yeah, let's start with some
So
good.
like what are like your top 2 or 3 positives? Of course, Leroy's here because I'm talking on some technology.
Our cat is
Every time.
obsessed with Andrew's voice. When Andrew's talking on anything, he's in a meeting, our cat comes in and just starts meowing like crazy.
Yes.
So I apologize if you can hear that, but it's pretty comical to me. So, okay, my top goods, we're starting with goods.
Yes.
That's what she said. Okay, first one is I didn't mean for it to be so long.
0 good.
No, that's not true. There's so much good. Flexibility. Like freedom and flexibility when it comes to our schedules and what we are able to do and how which there's a good and a bad to this. But I think good.
The top good is the flexibility. That's your favorite thing about being in two entrepreneur household.
That's not my favorite thing.
What's your top?
I think my top thing is that we both get to do something that we are obsessed with and we are making an impact in people's lives.
Yeah.
In the way that we want to.
I think that's mine. Is that it's we everything that we put energy to and everything that we do is something that we choose.
Yes.
Not because we should or it's part of the job that we're doing or I got to get up to go do this thing because it's somebody put a meeting on my calendar. Like it's everything that we're doing and put energy to and building is because we want to do that thing.
Yeah.
And I think we want is maybe the wrong terminology. We're called to do that thing. Like we're putting energy to the things that we're called to do.
Yes. And we're not just, everything we do gets to be very intentional.
Whoa. Do you see this happening?
Yeah. I don't know why that is going on.
I don't think they can get out of the drive the other way.
Oh my gosh. Glad I didn't park my car out there today.
He made it.
Oh,
giant trailer trying to squeeze out between two small cars.
That is normally where I park my car, so I'm really thrilled that we moved that into the parking lot.
He made it.
And yeah, yesterday. So, yeah, I agree with you. Number one, I didn't know we were ranking them.
I said what was your top?
Well, you said the top 2 or 3, so I was just like getting rolling.
That's
okay.
All right. Number one
is impact. We get to wake up and know that what we are about to do is what we are consciously choosing to do. It's intentional. I'm excited to get out of bed every day and do my quote unquote job, which is a gift, such a huge gift.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't mind setting an alarm. I actually have this thing where I think that when you become, and I was this person, when you become an entrepreneur, one of the things that so many people say is there's this aspiration to not have to wake up to an alarm clock. And I don't think that's what I actually have done that. And it gets a little stressful because you're like, I understand the essence of it, but really what I think people want is to choose whether or
They want
not
the freedom.
they want the freedom. They want to be able to choose whether or not they set, because I set an alarm. Sometimes I wake up before it, but I set an alarm, but it's by choice. It's not because I have to. And that always feels very different,
Right.
I think, for people. So,
okay. So number one is impact, calling. Like we get to, like we're doing and putting energy, building, creating, putting energy towards things that we're called to do and that we love to do and that are impactful. All right. What's number two?
number two is honestly,
you
number
didn't
two
have
for
this. You didn't have this prepared.
no. No, I didn't have this prepared. I'm just flowing with whatever comes up. I think number two for me is the growth that
It's funny you
comes
said that.
with
I was
it.
going to say the exact same thing, probably in different ways, but the growth it does to you, the forced growth on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means that it's forced growth on our relationship, I think.
Everything. Yeah.
On everything. You are forced to grow in so many ways. I mean, you don't have to.
No, it's like it's the exact same thing you're talking about. Like people are like, oh, it'd be great to live without having to get up to an alarm clock until you can. Until you can, and then you do, and you're like, this is not fun.
Right.
Because like I actually want to have purpose. I want like I actually getting up and getting to work is purposeful for me. So like I think it's the growth in that of like you always look towards this like, oh, it'd be great to just do whatever I wanted with my time and energy until you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's like, holy cow, I have to grow as an individual. Like,
Yeah.
and this is one area of growth. I think there's multiple areas we can talk about, but this is one where it's like you actually desire discipline. You actually desire structure. You like learn to like love that piece of it because it allows you learn that, at least I do, learn getting up to an alarm and getting going and structuring my day and having challenges in my day, things to overcome and put those things in place makes me a better person. It makes me happier.
Yeah.
Part of the growth side of it.
Yes. And just to elaborate on that, I know that I feel as if you always had that knowing that you needed like a structure to things.
I did. Yeah.
Where I was like the screw it, I'm just going to do whatever I want. I pendulum swung. I used to be, when I was first started running my nutrition business, I was so rigid and disciplined. I mean, that was my entire life before that too. Right. I was really rigid. I was super disciplined. And so then there was a point when I just pendulum swung. I burned myself out being rigid and I've now learned to understand the difference between discipline and rigidity. But I burned myself out doing that. So then I flipped to the other side and I was like, I'm just going to do whatever I want, whenever I want. Yep. This is my voice that I give to this version of myself. I'm just going to do it like this. And it was a disaster. Like, maybe disaster is a little harsh, but I felt so unfulfilled and I felt like I was putting so much effort out, but it wasn't moving me anywhere. And so that growth for me has come down to understanding that one, your nervous system needs structure and stability in order to feel safe. And when I started to create these daily rituals, which I've told Andrew, like, I don't like the word routine. It makes me feel very constricted. But if you tell me I'm doing a ritual, it feels very ceremonious to me, as dumb as that is. But anyways, now I love to wake up and have my rituals where I spend an hour working on myself. I have a set work schedule. So I'm not able, like, it's just like the perfect blend of discipline to allow me to have freedom.
Right. Okay. So that's one part of the growth. What other aspects of growth make it great. Like, I think
Mm.
that that's just one little aspect of it, but we're saying that one of the best parts about it is growth. And I think the growth perspective comes mainly from we're both doing it. So like it's things like just understanding like you have to grow as a person when all of it is on your shoulders. Like it's the creation, it's not going to start without you, it's not going to stop without you, it's not going to be fulfilled in the middle without you. So like by going through that, you realize your shortcomings, things that you're good at, what you're right. And then like I think having you in the same thing, like we're doing that together but separate at the same time. And then you learn like, hey, Stacy, you're really good in this. Can you help? Can you come fill this void in my business? Or I can come help fill that void in your business, and kind of calling each other out. Like it's like from a growing perspective, like we had to get really comfortable being really honest with each other.
Yes.
Compared to where if we weren't in this situation, we probably wouldn't be as like just raw honesty with each other, because we probably didn't even understand it, or it didn't even really matter.
Yeah. Or it wasn't quite literally blocking our livelihood.
Right.
I think that is where growth comes from
fair.
I think it's just in entrepreneurship in general, is you realize that if you don't change and you don't get better at the things that you're not good at, it is literally going to impact your bottom line. Like you are not
100%.
It's not just like, oh, I'll still get paid the same amount every 2 weeks, whether I figure this out or don't figure this out. It is like, if I don't figure this out, like we're screwed.
Right.
And so it becomes, there's no choice but to grow.
Which does lead me, I think, to the third one personally, is the financial aspect of doing it. I think there's so like financially is very rewarding as well. After you
Can
get
be.
some of that, after you get through some of that.
Yes.
But I think you're getting rewarded for the energy. You feel like you're getting rewarded more appropriately for the energy that you're putting in.
Yes.
That's my perspective. I mean, if you think about our journey, and even, you know, when we're both entrepreneurs, we financially have been in a much better position.
You know, it's funny because I've been an entrepreneur now for 8 years, and I've had up years and I've had down years. And what I always have to remind myself of is that as a nurse, even in my worst year where I felt like I was just scrambling to bring money in, like there was no rhyme or reason to anything, I made more than I would have as a nurse. And I also think it's important to recognize that what you and I have come to discover, and even though you hear this before you become an entrepreneur, you can't really understand it until you are in it, is that there's no limit to the potential.
Yeah.
Like you don't cap out. And that's a really, really cool thing.
Well, and the path forward becomes more clear, because you don't cap out, and you can just hire out the work that you're doing to then step into higher value work, and then hire that out, and then step into higher value work. So like there's always a path forward to continue to earn more. And then when you do that, there's like other channels that open. So now you're not relying on one channel. There's 3 or 4 channels, but that comes with time, and it should come with time. It drives me insane. These people are like, well, I'm going to have 4 revenue streams. I'm going to start tomorrow. It's like, good luck. All 4 are going to fail.
Yeah.
But if you just like commit yourself to one, build it, get it going, hire, let it scale, then you go into the next. But yeah, I think those are the 3.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Good. Like the positive side, the best side for us.
Yes.
Which is, so what were the 3? What was the first one?
Impact
And purpose and calling. Like
yes.
we can do that. Second is the growth that it demands as a positive. And then the third is the financial perspective to be able to do good. It's interesting because we actually didn't say flexibility.
No, we didn't.
Where I think a lot of people would choose flexibility, or would think it would be the flexibility.
Well, I also wonder, we are flexible in certain aspects, but this is actually something we're working on. We're working on, because
Yeah.
I think that we haven't been great at flexibility, so to say, because you and we started as entrepreneurs during COVID. I started a little bit before that, but we were traveling around and we were living this very nomadic life. And with that life, and so I would say this is a bad, right? This is a bad. Is the first bad I'm going to say is that just because you can doesn't mean you should. And I mean that by we worked everywhere. Like we couldn't turn it
It's
off.
funny you went here too, because I actually think the flexibility is a bad.
Okay, so we're getting some. We're on the same page.
I know we are on the same page, not even knowing it. But I think the flexibility is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Personally, because I think as overachievers, we take the flexibility as there's more time to do
more.
Yes. And we do live in this a little bit of a flexible life. Like it's Friday at 1:00 and we're hanging out and we're kind of done with like traditional work right now and we're doing this, right? So we do live a little bit more of a flexible life.
Or like people come to visit and we can take.
We take days off that, whatever. And just like, but I think because of that flexibility, it's like there's always time to work as well. Mm-hmm. So like if there aren't plans to do something, a lot of time our default is work.
Yes.
Like if there isn't a plan, say it's a Thursday night and you have a call later at 6 or 7 o'clock, like there's no question in my mind that I'm just going to go work and do stuff.
Right.
So in some ways, the flexibility becomes bad when you can't control it of like providing yourself the space you need.
Yeah. So I think that something that's interesting about that is I recognize that to be true. Too much flexibility is a little bit dangerous, which is why I had to give myself working hours. I had to, because once I get working, it's hard to stop me. Yes. And so I had to put my own boundaries on that, which means that my thing was I'm not going to start work until 10 a.m. because my morning, I'm really good at pouring into myself as long as I don't get started pouring into anything else. So my mornings is when I did my workouts in and I do my, my walks with Max and I'm just I really take care of myself in the morning. But then I had to put boundaries and say I work from 10 to 4.
Yeah.
Because when all things are considered, I can get all of my work done from 10 to 4. If you give me, what principle is this? There's a principle of this. But if you give me 10 to 8, it's going to take me 10 to 8 to get it done.
Is it Maslow's? That's hierarchy of needs.
That's hierarchy. No,
and maybe Maslow's principle too.
It might be.
That pretty much says is like if you give something 8 hours to be done, it'll take 8 hours.
Yes. Yeah. So I give myself 6 hours.
Yeah.
And then I've been implementing some Freedom Fridays where I don't schedule things on Friday. And at 4 o'clock, I have to force myself to leave the house and go do something, or else I will just keep working.
Yeah. And we're both that way. So I think that's the bad.
Yeah.
Is that if we're not careful, and we're putting a lot of things in place, but I think the bad is if you're not careful and you're not intentional, that time can be sucked away a little bit.
Agreed.
Where it's good work, like you're excited, it brings you energy to put the energy towards those things, but it's not a healthy balance from a life perspective. You can get a little obsessed.
Yeah, you can.
We can, yeah.
And I think most people,
which is hard because you're loving it.
Yes.
Like you're absolutely loving the work, which goes to number one of what's good about it. It brings you you love the work. And that's why why this can be a bad piece of it. So it's good. All right. What's bad number 2?
Bad number 2. I think that bad number 2 is the lack of safety.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I think safety from a few things. Like one is like, which is silly because it doesn't even make sense. But one are like, and I don't know if this is where you're going with it. My head's going like 12 different areas around safety, but I think
You
it's
tend to be passionate about safety.
for sure because I think it's like it's such a necessity to do your best work. But the lack of safety during times and the lack of like of because I actually believe entrepreneurship is more safe than going to work for somebody else.
Agreed.
Because tomorrow at any time you're working for somebody, they can let you go and you have to start all over. But I think the lack of safety comes from is that you make choices to take bigger risks. And so if it doesn't work out, the downfall is bigger. So perfect example, like starting Barracks and some of that stuff. And like we had to like take out our retirement and invest that into that component. If it failed, it wasn't just I got to go get another job. Like there was a lot of money tied up into it. So like that doesn't feel as safe. So yeah, it's like the risks that come, the inherent bigger risks that can come.
And
is that where you're going with safety or are you going somewhere else? I just rambled there for a minute.
No, I love it. I'm going two different ways. I understand exactly what you're saying because I think that it is risky and it's interesting because this is the way that I always think about it, though, is that we're so quick to spend tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars on education.
Yeah.
And like take out tons of loans and do things like that. And yet you pull out your retirement for entrepreneurship or to build a business. For some reason, that feels significantly riskier.
For sure. It feels riskier.
Which it's really not. I mean, yes, you're guaranteed a diploma at the end of the college journey, right? You're guaranteed a piece of paper that says that you are, you're whatever you are. So I think that there's no guarantees, and that feels a little bit frightening. So there's that aspect of it, but I actually mean when I say safety, I think one of our biggest struggles was we say that financially it's one of the best things you can do once you get there.
Correct.
But holy moly.
Through it isn't always that way.
It is.
It's like a cash flow issue.
Yes.
Right. It's like you understand. You've ever seen those things about an entrepreneur's bank account?
No.
Oh, it's funny. It's like first day of the month, $128,000. Second day of the month, $20. Third day of the month, $50,000. Fourth day of the month, negative $650. Right. And then it's like fifth day of the month, $262,000. It's like this ping pong. And that's how it feels.
That is how it feels.
That's how it feels.
And
it's like you're dealing with larger amounts of money in and out too, which just feels it doesn't feel safe all the time because of that.
So anybody who's listening, who's out there working for someone, have a little compassion for the person at the top who's watching.
Man. No kidding.
This, who's like carrying this load, and they have to worry about paying you, and they have to worry about paying all of these things.
Oh yeah.
And so I know that at least for us, we went through, and this is something that very few people I think talk about and even our families and friends don't know the dire financial situation that we were actually in for a little while, where we just were like, let's just make it through next month.
Yeah.
Let's just make it through next month.
Yeah.
And somehow we always would, and it would always work out. But talk about having to strengthen your trust in something bigger than you.
Yes.
Because we
were
100%
is trust. Because and there is a path. It's not like we're in a position where there was no money and you didn't see where money was going to come from.
Yes.
There was a timing thing that was an issue, right? That you knew, just got to wait this out, wait it out and it'll come. But there's a lot of trust in that. And like things have to happen correctly for it to work that way.
Right. So,
which is why there's a lot of people, and I don't know where I sit in this camp, but there's a lot of people that say that's why the best way to start something is as a side hustle. So you don't have to live, you don't feel that as much from a safety perspective as you're building.
Yeah, I could definitely go both ways on that, because I do understand. And after being a business owner for long enough, I would have told you that the only way to do it is to burn the boats, but I actually didn't do it that way because you had the boat.
Yes.
With your corporate job.
Yes.
And I got to just do whatever the heck I wanted.
And you got to, in your perspective, burn the boat. But as a family, we had a big boat.
Yeah. We had a big boat that I was sitting in.
Yes.
Like, I was like rowing next to you in a little rowboat, but my big boat was right next to me just in case the waves got a little too rocky.
Yes.
Right?
So like it wasn't quite that same way.
No, it wasn't. But then when we both became entrepreneurs,
we burned the boats.
And it was scary for a while.
I didn't step into entrepreneurship lightly.
No. And
it was go. But I knew that about myself.
Yes.
Like, I wouldn't be able to start a side hustle on the side and I wouldn't have built it to what it could have been.
Do you think that's because
complacency?
Yeah. Like you're not forced to.
Yeah. Complacency.
You kind of have to.
You're comfortable, and you're comfortable in a role, and like you can play with it, but I'm not working against any forces to actually, when things get a little sticky, to like force it through.
Yeah.
So you'll just kind of give it up because like at the end of the day, I'm fine.
You know, it's interesting. I was talking to a new client today, and she said, growing up, my dad always, like, he never let me struggle. She goes, so now as an adult, because she was telling me the thing that's going to be hardest working together is the action, because anytime something gets hard, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, and so that's what you have to know yourself. I was
Absolutely.
like, dang, good awareness,
Yeah.
first of all, but know yourself well enough to know, can you start a side hustle, and are you disciplined enough to like do that or are you the person that needs to burn the boat and give yourself no other option?
Yeah. So that's the bad, is that safety or the risk that you take. But I feel blessed that we had each other through it, because I don't think there's a lot of other relationships that wouldn't do well with it. I think, especially for the life we came from, like we had a very comfortable life when we started.
Yeah.
Well-paying jobs and nice house and boats and toys and like just a nice life.
Yeah.
And so, but we knew that there was more, and time and impact and callings were those more. So to go through that, to get to that, you got to go through some stuff. And I think that in general, we supported each other through it.
Yeah. And I think that it forced us to, and we'll probably do a whole episode on this, it forced us to completely shift our relationship with money.
Yeah.
Too, and grow in that way.
Yeah.
And
it's a tool, not anything else.
Yeah. And to strip the emotion
out of it. It's not our money, it's God's money, and it goes in and out, and that's all good stuff.
Yes. Okay.
But I do think, just to point on that, I think the times where like I was ready to hang it up, like I'm just gonna go get another job, and it's like it'd be so much easier. You would say, well, why? Like, just give it another month. Like, you can always go get another job,
Yeah.
Or the vice versa. I was like, well, go do it, sure. But then you're like, but I don't want to. Okay.
Yeah.
And like, let's just keep going. Like, we supported each other.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's like, it's so easy. The thought, go get another job, is so easy. But the reality of going and working for someone after you've been an entrepreneur is, and I did it. Like, I did it for a little while because I was in a really funky spot, and I was just like, and honestly, it was a really huge gift to me. So if you're somebody who's listening that is an entrepreneur, and you feel as if you are feeling really unsafe, or maybe you've lost confidence or whatever it is, and it is something that you feel as if you need to get a job to support, and kind of, because you guys, I work on stress, like that stress can take over, and it will keep you in this state of fight or flight, which is not healthy either. And so anyway, but me going and getting that other job, it was amazing because it reminded me why I love what I do.
Yeah.
Because I was there for maybe 3 months and I was driving myself insane. And I was just like, oh yeah, this is why I'm an entrepreneur, because I actually love, I think I have the coolest job on the planet. What am I doing?
Yeah.
You know? So it got me out of a weird funk.
All right.
But
So you want to go to ugly?
yeah.
What's your ugly?
My ugly, I have it written down because
Oh,
I
boy.
thought of it when we
I
were
haven't thought
talking.
about this yet.
My ugly is competition.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And maybe you don't feel it. No, I think that there is,
Like between us?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's my ugly.
Tell me more.
Tell me more. So we're now in therapy in this episode. No, I'm kidding. But we've talked about this. Is I had a really hard time because I was the first one to become an entrepreneur. And most people have heard that story about how I just like made numbers up because you wanted to know how this was going to work. And I do what I always do and say, it just is. Let me show you this fake document. And I have worked my butt off and I have done so many different things. And then here comes Andrew and he starts a business and then he starts a second business. And financially, you blew me out of the water in like a year, maybe 2. But I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I just remember feeling so mad. Like, I was like, what? This is not, I've been doing this and so here, lesson, folks. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing something, but also I was trying to compare my journey to yours and my business, like what EBL is to EOS. And there was a lot of comparison going on that probably wasn't a fair comparison. And I wasn't looking at us as a team. I was looking at us as it was a versus type of situation, but that was based on my own insecurities. And so, but I think that was an ugly time for me, was really struggling because I was so excited and ultimately it's fueling the life that we get to live. And yet there's this piece of me that was like, well, this isn't fair. Like this little kid in me that just was mad. Like, this isn't fair that I've been working so hard for this length of time. And here you come in and but like making money has always been, like, I feel like it's easy for you.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I mean, don't mind it.
I know. That's a good one, though. I mean, I think that's a good one. I think that is the root cause of a lot of our issues early on with this, and probably even still today on things. That it's like that's a root cause that if you feel, that's not a fair way to say this, that it's a root cause that, say, EOS or anything else that is quote unquote is mine, which it's all ours.
Right.
Has a good month, and something that you put more time in or energy towards doesn't financially have as good of a month. Like you have, like, almost it kills your confidence. When that's only one aspect of what the business can do for the family.
Right. And that's also saying,
and impact for other people. And
yeah. And I think what's comical too is that if you were to ask Andrew, he would tell you any day that if I'm not careful, and if it wasn't for him, probably I would have an accidental nonprofit. Like, I don't like the money aspect. I just love what I do so much that it's more of a mission to me.
Yes.
And I will never forget when you said that to me, because it almost felt like this massive relief. But it's just, I'm not driven by that aspect of it. And yet that was the one thing that I was comparing apples to apples. And it was just so silly. So silly. But I've learned.
Yeah. That's a good ugly one.
What's yours?
I think my ugly one is the sense of responsibility and what it actually takes to hold more responsibility. Like I think from an like what it like that growth when you're saying I can hold so much. Like I think there's been times in our lives, anybody can relate to this, that you feel like you're at capacity, right? So like I just can't handle more responsibility. Like I got work this, family that, this. Well, the more things are going well in a business and it's growing and there's two businesses that are growing, all these things are going on, it also grows in responsibility. But you don't like so then you get to a point where you feel at capacity and for good reasons, but you're at capacity and you feel all that stress. And then what it takes to grow to be able to hold that and then say, what does it take to hold more responsibility, which means hold more success, quote unquote success. I think those grow moments are difficult.
That's your ugly, is like
I
the
think so.
the grow
The
moments.
grow
How do you
moments.
increase your capacity
Mm-hmm.
moments of I have it's almost the EOS core value of grow or die.
Yeah.
It's like you're at that threshold of I either grow,
Yep.
which is where I say in EBL, stress shows us like our stress shows us exactly where we need to grow.
Right.
And it's the blueprint and the portal. And it's can you butt up against that?
And the reason and the reason I say it's the ugly is because I think during those moments of feeling like the capacity is as high as it can get, like you're not a great person to yourself or other people around you always. And so like I think at times there's times that I've taken things out on you or not even been nice to myself, or like then like everything goes out the window of like even me working out and taking care of myself or putting like there was a period, I think we did the math, that there was like a year that you and I didn't go on maybe 18 months, go on a trip that wasn't surrounded by work in some way.
Yes.
Because I felt like there was no other room for it.
Yeah.
But it was because I wasn't able to hold more yet,
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get through it, you're like, yeah, I can hold more. And like now I can do that. So,
yeah.
And what I think some people get it wrong is I think they think about, well, no, say no, limit the things, and then you can hold it. Well, I want to be able to hold more.
Right.
I want more. I don't,
Yes.
so I want to go through that period to grow into somebody that can hold more responsibility, that can hold more capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that life is very exciting to me.
Yeah.
Compared to I hit capacity, I'm going to learn to say no and get out of things.
Like do less.
But it's going to keep me at a certain level in life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to grow into that next level, which is the only way success comes, with the ability to hold responsibility.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think even when we talk about, go back and listen to this if you need to, we talk about the stress chart, peak performance lives somewhat in that danger zone. You have to, there's actually a purpose to putting yourself in the danger zone, which is that as long as you don't stay there for too long, it forces you to grow your capacity and to become more resilient.
Perfect example was we had an assistant in EOS, and you grow to a certain level, and like I felt like I was at capacity. Well, okay, I can say no to other activities, or like it forces me then to go, well, maybe it's time I need to add a new person or new skill sets and phase that out and do something there. And right, like, and then that you can grow further and have more capacity.
Don't you think it comes down, because even when you're talking about that, like we were at a point where you were reaching capacity in your ability in the amount of clientele and businesses that you're able to hold because of everything else. And that was the moment that I stepped in and said, let me
Sorry.
We're boring him. That
oxygen.
apparently, but that's where I stepped in and said, hey, I can take over some of this to be able to, so that we as a family can hold more, can have more capacity. And so it's almost like the sum of your parts. And I think that that is ultimately what we've been able to grow into, is the ability for us to say, what does our family need? What do the businesses need? And how do we become the people that can hold that? And we have allowed ourselves to, we're getting better and better at the collaboration piece and bringing our two skill sets together and allowing that to, so instead of you having to hold it or me having to hold it, it's how do we hold it, which I think is a gift. So
that's the good and bad and ugly.
That's the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. So, okay. So this segment,
is
what we're calling this, a segment of the podcast, is work smart, play hard. All right. So which one did we talk about? Working smart or playing hard? Maybe a little bit of both.
Kind of both.
All right.
Yeah. Kind of both.
I like it.
Now, yeah. Okay. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Good?
I think so.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode of Work Smart, Play Hard with Andrew and I. And we are excited to get started on welcoming you into the next conversation. If you have specific questions about us being entrepreneurs or what it's like, or just relationship questions, because I think that, we've obviously had to grow a lot in that.
I was going to say, if you have relationship questions, we'll bring in some experts. I asked them too.
Yeah, that's true. We can only speak from experience. But yeah, if you have anything that you want to know or you want us to talk about, please let us know. Send us your questions. Send us your thoughts, because it helps us to know, like, what do you want to hear? What do you want to listen to? And we can do our best to answer the questions to the best of our ability. So, but thank you for being here with us.
All right. And this is the first podcast recorded in the new EBL studios.
Yes, it
is. It true?
Yeah. How exciting is that?
Pretty fun.
Cheers to that. All right. We'll see you on the next one.